Evergreen masterpiece by legendary Judit Polgar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Enjoy Chess channel. If you think that we don't have a very top woman chess player in the history of the game, and more importantly, you believe that there's no woman in history of chess that her skills and her class was equal to world chess champions, then let me ask you this question. Have you ever heard of a name called Judit Polgar? Judit Polgar is one of the three Polgar sisters that raised with a very specific kind of training by their father. She obtained the Grandmaster title, the most important title in chess world, by only age 15, breaking Bobby Fischer's record at that time. Polgar even reached the candidate stage of World Chess Championship cycle, and her peak rating was 2735 in year 2005, ranked number 8 in top chess players in the world. She almost crushed everyone. During her career, she defeated 11 current or former world champions in rapid or classical chess, including the great Garry Kasparov, Viswanathan Anand, and even Magnus Carlsen. Judit Polgar for sure was one of the best tacticians in the history of the game, and her key to success was most probably her self-confidence and believing in her abilities to beat everyone. She almost always says that most girls doesn't believe in themselves and they only compete in women chess tournaments and they don't consider themselves as future chess world champions. And one of her quotes goes like this: I played against men most of my life because our goal was that I wanted to reach the highest potential to be an absolute world champion. And you know what? Polgar was under a lot of pressure during her chess career because lots of men were afraid to face him over the board because they were afraid of losing to her, and that was shameful for them. And even if they lost, they brought excuses like they didn't feel good or something like that. And Polgar said something sarcastically like that. She said that when men lost against me, they always have a headache or things of that kind. I have never beaten a completely healthy man. And this game that I'm going to show you is the game between Judit Polgar and Berkes in year 2003 in the French defense. So this video is the second part of how to beat the French defense. And in this video, we're going to see a marvelous and fantastic and ingenious game by the best female ever chess player. As you may already know, Judit had the white pieces in this game and she kicked off with pawn to e4 and black responded with pawn to e6. We have the French defense and here we have a clash for the center. And if you watched the previous video on how to beat the French defense, the game between Garry Kasparov and Viktor Korchnoi, you already know that we are going to reply this with knight c3. This is what Judit played in this game also. And if you haven't watched that game, please go and watch it after this game. After knight c3, Berkes decides to play knight f6. We have a strategic fight for the e4 square. Judit plays bishop g5. She pins this knight. And here black says, you know what, I'm going to trade in the center, I'm going to simplify this game because I know that Judit is a very strong tactician, so I'm going to keep things simple. Knight takes e4, bishop e7, and here bishop takes f6 by white. A very strong decision, a very nice decision to have a very strong knight on e4. And later on she wants to play knight f3, bishop d3 and have control on the light color squares. As you can see in the later stages of the game, knight f3, castle. And here we have queen d2. Here Judit shows that she wants to attack no matter what. She wants to go line castle and then she wants to launch an attack on the king side by g4, g5, h4 and bishop to d3, and imagine how this king can escape. Black decides to develop his knight, knight to d7, long castle. And here it's a dubious decision by black. He plays bishop back to e7. He wants to retain his two bishop advantage and he wants to have the two b's. Later on he probably wants to play b6, b7, and he says, okay, my bishop on e7 is a very strong piece. I have a very strong bishop, so why not to keep it in the game? But it's a very slow move, and in the later stages of the game white can exploit this move. Here Judit plays bishop d3. He wants to push h4 and later on plays something like knight g5, black plays b6, and here we go, knight g5 attacking the king. The attack starts from now on. And black says, what is this? I've never saw something like this. I just played something like h6, and what are you going to do with this knight? If you go to h7, I just simply play rook e8. What is this? But to his surprise, Judit just plays bishop h7 check. He says, what? I just play king h8. Now what are you going to do with your bishop, with your knight? What is this? And Judit retreats with bishop to e4, attacking the rook. Okay, these things is not very hard for grandmasters to spot. Bishop h7, bishop e4, but here black see a very nice variation. He says that, okay, I can take on g5, and if he takes my rook, I can play g4. First of all, let's consider something like rook b8. If black responds with rook b8 in this position, then white can play h4. She's not going to retreat his knight, she's going to play h4, a fantastic move in this position. And later on, she probably wants to put this knight on e5, queen to f4 first, of course, then g4 and launching attack on the king. But black says, you know what, I'm smarter than you. I'm going to grab this knight, and after bishop takes a8, if you play bishop takes a8, I'm going to play g4. And if you move this knight, for example, to e5, I'm going to play bishop g5, and I'm going to pin your queen, and the game is over. If you even play f4, I'll go en passant, and this pin is deadly. So this is what black saw, and here Judit comes with a surprise. A move that most grandmasters cannot see in this position. I mean, this position is a very nice position. I've seen it in so many puzzle books. You can stop the video and think on your own to see how you continue, but this move is marvelous. This move is genius. Shows Judit Polgar's genius level. She plays pawn to g4. This move just give 1 exclamation mark, but I even give it 3 exclamation, 4 exclamation mark. This is fantastic chess move. She says, no, I'm not interested in this rook. You can move your rook. Black says, okay, I'm going to move my rook. And here it comes. Pawn to h4. The attack starts. Or better, I should say the attack continues. Because now white is going to take on g5. And this line will be open and the king will be checkmated. If black takes, white will go g5 and rook takes h4. Imagine this rook going to h1 and rook h8 mate. So to black's surprise, there is no defense in this position for black. He plays pawn to g6, h takes g5 check, king to g7. He says, okay, I'm going to play rook h8, I'm going to defend this line, this h line, and my king is safe. What's going on? And Judit brings her queen. The queen, the enemy of the king, is coming to the game. Queen to f4. And here it's a very hard position for black to play. And Berkes plays chess.com's first chess.com's engine move, bishop to b7. This game is very hard for Stockfish 16 at this level on chess.com website to understand. This game is far more deep, and it needs a very stronger engine. I've analyzed it with other engines, with top engines with much higher depths. And most engines says that rook h8 in this position is necessary for black. He should play rook h8, but nevertheless it's losing even after rook h8. After rook takes h8, you cannot take back with the king because queen takes f7 is over, so you should take back with the queen. And here knight e5 comes, and there is no defense. He's going to take on f7. If you take, queen takes e5, it's over, because if you play f6, something like gf6, and after bishop f6, queen takes c7, picking up this rook, this is not possible. If king to g8, once again queen takes c7, you know, this queen attacks anything on the board, so this is not possible also. So black cannot take on e5. If he plays queen f8 to defend this, then rook h1 comes, and there is no defense in this position. White threatens to take on f7. For example, if c5, knight takes f7, even queen h2 here is possible. Yeah, queen h2 is basically over, but even knight f7, I guess. Here, bishop b7, probably defense, but okay, something like rook queen h2 in this position. After c5, something like, no, not knight takes f7, just queen h2, and queen h7 checkmate is coming. So, for example, against other moves, I don't know, for example, against king g8, probably white can take, and after queen takes f7, there is rook h8 check, and after takes, queen takes f7, bishop takes g6, and everything is hanging, so black is lost. This is not possible to play like this. So, but what engine says is, to give back material, to play bishop takes here, and after queen takes here, to just play queen h6, begging to trade queens. But after this, white can just simply take this, and after knight d5, this is a losing endgame. This bishop cannot go out, and if it comes to b7, then rook d7, check is coming, and then it's just basically over for black. This endgame is hopeless for black. So if this is the best, then black is lost. Actually, if this is the best, then black is lost. Black in the game plays more natural move. He plays bishop b7 to face this bishop on e4, but here comes Judit Polgar's genius tactical vision. He plays rook to h7 check, another brilliant move, but g4 was a brilliant move for me. This rook h7, any player can spot this if it arrives here, but to see it, to see g4, h4, and to see all of this sequence of moves, this is very great. After king takes h7, queen h2 check. Now the queens comes forward. There is no king g7 anymore because queen h6 comes, and after, for example, king g8, rook h1, the game is over. Oh, okay. Rook h1, yeah, rook h1, bishop takes g5, and if you takes on g5, then queen takes g5 is check, unfortunately, and then he's going to pick up this e4. But the better idea is bishop takes g6. It's basically mate, checkmate. There's no defense. If we have takes g6, then this is mate, so this is over. Even I've analyzed this game, but even it's hard for me to memorize things even in this position. So black in the game plays king to g8, and here comes rook h1 once again. Bishop takes g5, says okay, it's check, but knight takes g5, queen takes g5. If black has time to play queen f6 and queen to g7, both moves, but it's not possible. White plays f4, attacks the queen. White threatens mate in 1, so black has to give up the queen. And after queen takes f4, bishop takes e4, queen takes e4. Black in this position decided to resign the game. I guess it's too soon to resign, but white is going to play something like g5 in this position, or queen to c6. The game is over already, but I mean, new generation of chess player will probably continue this game. For example, with something like king g7, we have g5. This is very hard. If you play something like rook h8, then rook f1 comes, and this f7 is weak. Queen comes to c6. I don't know how to defend it. For example, b5 is the best line by engine. Queen to c6, and it says just sacrifice this pawn. Now white is completely winning. But okay. What can I say? Here he resigned here after bishop takes e4, queen takes e4, and what a game! And how about this game? I can just say, how about this game for those who says we don't have any top woman in the history of chess. Judit was fantastic. She was phenomenal, and she beat even Garry Kasparov and Vishwanathan Anand several times. I hope this video was beneficial for you and you learned some ways to deal with French defense and it enhanced your tactical vision. If this is the case, please like this video and subscribe to our channel and enjoy chess and life.